What's going on, everybody? Massy here from Soul King Crew TCG. Tonight we're going to be bringing you another deck profile. We have our leader from OP-02 Garp. I just want to start the video by saying thank you very much for all the support we've been getting. Almost at 350 subs, which is pretty insane. We didn't think that we'd be getting this much love right off the start of our channel, so thank you so much for the continued support and for all the feedback that we've been getting so we can make these videos honestly as good as we can for you and really kind of push that information along to you about the decks that we've been testing and playing, and hopefully you're taking them to tournaments, giving them a try, and doing well. So let's dive right into the deck profile. We do have Garp as our leader. The leader ability on your turn, whenever you attach a Dawn to either the leader or one of your characters on board, you're able to -1 cost from one of your opponent's characters. Now, what I learned in testing is if I were to take 3 Dawn and kind of slap it on one character at one time, I'm able to -3 cost. Now, when you're minusing the cost on your opponent's characters, you can minus it, you can split it however you want. So if I wanted to minus something by 2 and another card by 1, I'm allowed to do that, which is kind of cool with the leader in case you have a play where you can pop multiple cards by minusing them. So definitely a few spicy things you could do with Garp. So let's dive right in. We do have a kind of a straw hat package, a lot of the rush cards that you're seeing looking at the list here, but we wanted to start with kind of like a low to the ground card that if we need to, we could slap some Dawn on and swing with, or combo it with like Brook for a lot of 5K swings. So Nami was a card just for if we needed to see something like Radical Beam to keep us alive, or we need to see something like Luffy to end the game, or Zoro for early, or even something like Brook or Chopper, right? So there's a lot of targets for Nami in this list, and she ended up being a great card in testing, so I'm definitely going to keep her in the list for now, as long as I'm playing the Straw Hat cards. Then we went for our rush style kind of mid-range game with this deck. So we wanted to play 3 Zoro. If you watch some of the testing videos, you will see that we were able to drop Zoro a few times, and it was definitely a card that our opponent wanted to deal with, which kind of opened us up for some other plays as well. Our big drop of the deck is going to be Edward Newgate. Okay, in the deck it's great if you're able to, in one of the replays, we were able to play him down when we were healthy on our life, and from that point it was really hard for our opponent to come back. So Edward Newgate has been great in testing. Makes your leader a 7K. If you can drop him on curve, it's a great card. I have no complaints about him. Being the multicolor deck, in this format, multicolor is pretty hard to play just because there's so much aggro, right? With the Straw Hat Whitebeard list running around, with Zoro running around, even decks like Smoker, if they wanted to go low to the ground, they could. You want to be able to keep yourself healthy, and Chopper just seemed like the cheapest way to kind of do that, right? We want to be able to use our Dawn to mine the stuff or push in for plays when we can. So Chopper was our low to the ground blocker, cheap. He blocks those early attacks, so you can keep yourself at 4, get your opponent down 1 or 2 life, and then start going for your mid-range plays. All right, we did pick Brook for our first 2K. Brook's a card that I've loved since starting playing the game, right? Now, not only is he a 2K combo, he's a 3K character where you can drop him on board for 2, and he's going to give something else to Dawn for. So he's basically playing himself for free, and you're able to utilize that 2 Dawn for something else, right? If you wanted to combo him into a Whitebeard for a play to kind of kill a small blocker, or make your Zoro a 7K for some more pressure, or he combos very nicely with Garp. In testing, when I was playing against like Zoro and stuff like that, I was able to drop this card, and Brook comboed so well with him. So even though they are 2K combos, if I was in a position where I felt I was able to play them, I utilized him in both different aspects. So Brook was a great card. 2 Luffy. Luffy has been insane. I'm actually thinking about bumping this card to 3. Now, this card, no one ever thinks that you're playing in this deck for some reason. They always pitch their hand. If you can get in there for some swings, get their hand as low as possible, and then you have like 10 Dawn, you slap this down and swing for 11, and you're kind of ending the game. So if you can, if you see in some of the replays as well, we held the Luffy for a while, and then we just drop it down to end the game, and that's kind of what he's been used for, and it's working out every time. This is like my favorite card in OP-02, Kobe. In this deck, it's insane. Him being able to hit a 3 cost or less right? If your leader ability is active, they have some 7 drops on the board, something lower, a 6 drop, a 5 cost blocker you need to get rid of. You just toss 2 Dawn on something, minus it by 2, and then pop it with Kobe. Kobe's a great card. It really is a great card. On the crackback, you can slap 1 Dawn on him, swinging for 5, get a card out of your opponent's hands, get in there for a life. I have no complaints about this card. I keep it at 4. Any black deck you're playing right now in the second format, this card should be at 4. It really deals with so many different things. Our second form of removal, and another big character that we figured that we would run, is Sakazuki. It's a card that I've loved playing in Smoker, and definitely a card that I'm enjoying in testing. A 7k body, you don't need to attach Dawn to him to pressure cards out of the opponent's hand. He's getting rid of something. And then even in this deck too, if you're minusing something that's higher than 5 costs with your leader ability and then dropping Sakazuki to pop it, it's just another way to deal with like 7 cost or lower cards. So Sakazuki, great card. Borsellino really helps in the red matchups, not being able to be KO'd by effects on your opponent's turn. He is a 6k body on your opponent's turn, easy to block with, easy to keep your bigger cards alive, or if you need to use him to keep like Zoro's alive or Garp's alive. He's been great in testing. I would keep him at 4. If you wanted to bump him to 3, you probably can make an argument for it, but I like Borsellino at 4. I'm going to keep him there. This card, I feel so much more comfortable playing this card on board in this deck than I do in Smoker. Like Smoker, I'm always using this card for a 2k combo, but with this leader, it just feels so much more valuable, right? Because even if they had something that's a 2 cost on board, and you have this, and you attach 2 Dawn to it, you then get the leader ability to minus something. So if you're minusing something to 0 and then you're just swinging in with this, you're just dealing with anything, right? He's great for the early game, especially versus red. He gets through smaller blockers, he gets through Okikus, he gets through a bunch of different things that people don't expect if he's on the board. So with your leader ability, this card is great to play early if you have it on curve. And then the rest of them you can kind of keep in your hand for 2k. All right, another 2k combo that you could probably argue to change this to a different 2k if you'd like. I just really like the Shigi. I never really play her. I usually just keep her in my hand for a 2k combo, but she's been good in testing. She's always there when I need it. This card, since I started playing OP-02, kind of just sits in my life, which I'm pretty fine with as long as I see it. I combo 2k out. Radical Beam, you have to play Radical Beam in this deck. All right, you're a 4 health leader. The multicolor leaders definitely need a little bit of extra help versus some aggro matchups maybe later in the game. So if you're getting down to that 2 life, it's huge for keeping your characters alive. It's huge for keeping yourself alive. Definitely play Radical Beam. It's cheap. It's easy. Radical Beam, 100%. Meteor Volcano, thinking about bumping this to 4. Right, it's a great form of removal in this deck. Your leader makes it so easy to minus things, especially to that like 1 cost range, that Meteor Volcano just seems so free in this deck. I'd probably, in the future, I might even argue to maybe cut 1 Chopper or 1 Tashigi and just go down on 1 2k and add another Meteor Volcano. So something to talk about, something to think about, but it could be solid at 4. Last card we have Impact Wave or Shock Wave in the TCG. This card's great. If you're playing a black deck, you probably want to play this card as well, along with Kobe, right? Not only can you use it early to keep yourself from taking a damage, and you can use it to pop something as well. There's been plenty of times where I've tested against Kinemon decks where they swing with their leader first if I have nothing on board, and then I'm using my Impact Wave to stop the damage and popping an Okiku, and then they have to just commit more Dawn. So Impact Wave's been great. I like it at 3 in this deck. In Smoker, I'd play it at 4, but in this deck, I like it at 3 just because we also have Radical Beam to keep us healthy, and then there's a couple other things, right? We want to make sure that we have a decent curve. We want to make sure that we're able to play on both sides of the match, right, if we're going first or second. So I think we have a nice spread here. There are some things I'd like to test going forward, definitely with the Garp deck, but it's been a spicy deck. It's fun to play. It's not something that you're going to win every game with, but it's definitely a deck that you're going to get in there and get some wins with. So give it a try. Let me know what you think of the list. Let me know if something you would change, something you would play other than maybe an option that we chose. But the Garp deck's been fun, man. Definitely give it a run. And I guess before we close out the video here, make sure you're subbing to the channel, right? We're trying to hit that 500 sub goal. We're really pushing, and trying to just get all the content out as much as we can, honestly, and make the videos as solid as possible for everyone. We want everyone to learn together as a community. We want everyone to get better in a competitive aspect. And if it's something that you're just starting, right, just kind of help you learn the game and different cards, and just talk about why we play different cards at different ratios, and what we've been doing over here. So once again, everyone, this is Massy with Soul King Crew TCG, signing off. Before we go, make sure you're hitting that like button, dropping a sub on the channel so you can see the content coming out. We drop a video almost every single day, as long as we're able to, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks a bunch.